Good morning. Donald Trump, the last man standing in a formerly crowded GOP field as his rivals drop out one by one. But the fight for his party not over yet. Hi, everyone. I'm Maria Bartiromo. Welcome to Sunday Morning Futures. For the first time in more than half a century, a Republican Speaker of the House withholding his support for his party's nominee. This as some of Trump's former rivals, including Jeb Bush, publicly announced they will not support him in the general election. Trump firing back at a rally last night.
I don't like when a Jeb Bush who signs a pledge doesn't honor the pledge. And then he says, no, I'm not going to honor the pledge. You know, he's not going to honor. I mean, they signed a pledge, and I'm the one that they wanted to sign it. I honored it. I'm not a fan of Jeb, but he said he's not going to come to the convention. Who cares? And who cares? You know how many votes I'm going to lose because of Jeb not coming to the convention? I actually think I'll gain votes. You want to know the truth.
Let's talk more about it with Republican Congressman Sean Duffy from Wisconsin this morning. Congressman, good to have you on the program. Welcome.
Good morning, Maria. Thanks for having me on.
Wow. You know, you see these fighting words back and forth. Let me start off with you talking to our viewers a bit about what the reticence is in the House. Why are so many congressmen, senators so afraid or reluctant to get behind Donald Trump?
Yeah, so, Maria, you have a lot of us who are in tough races, and you and I both know, and your viewers, that Donald Trump says some things that can be outrageous, can be construed as offensive to some folks. And the problem is, if you endorse Donald Trump, the liberal media will try to attribute all of his statements to House members who have tough races or senators. And though Donald Trump can say some of the things he does and get away with it, a lot of House members aren't quite sure that they can get away with it. And so they want a top of the ticket like Donald, who can lead the party, that can do well, can bring out voters. But they want to leave a little bit of space so if Donald says some things or changes some policies that they disagree with, that they can actually keep a little bit of room from him. And they're going to need to if they're going to be able to win their own races, and we can then keep a majority in the House and hopefully hold on to the Senate. But there's real reticence there because they're not quite sure that they can survive some of the comments that Donald makes. Now, on the other hand, you know that Bernie Sanders and Hillary can say things, and the liberal media doesn't try to attribute that to Democrats, but they do that to us, and that's a big part of the concern that House members have right now.
Okay, so you're saying
one of the things that Donald could do.
Sorry.
So Donald really hasn't come to the House and talked to us. He's going to be in D.C. this week talking to Paul Ryan. He should come to the House conference, the Republican House conference, sit down, talk to us, take questions. We need to start building a relationship. This is almost like an arranged marriage. We thought we were going to marry somebody else. We're now going to marry Donald Trump. Let's sit down. Let's get to know each other. Let's start talking to each other. A lot of us haven't even met him yet. So he can do a lot to make members feel comfortable with his candidacy.
I don't want to talk about this meeting upcoming this Thursday with Paul Ryan for sure. But let me ask you this, Congressman, because the reality is the reality, right? Here we are. Donald Trump is the presumptive nominee. Will you support him?
Me, absolutely. My district in the central northern Wisconsin, they voted for Donald Trump. He's our candidate. He's way better than Hillary Clinton. He's gonna nominate Supreme Court justices. He'll do a better job of that than Hillary Clinton. And I do have some confusion that conservatives are so angry that they would rather give the candidacy, the election, the presidency to Hillary Clinton than Donald Trump. They might not like him. They might not think he's a great, strong conservative. But my gosh, he's better than a liberal Hillary Clinton. Everybody needs to get on board. And this talk about a third-party candidacy will be an absolute disaster for our party. And I think it'll change the country forever when Hillary Clinton makes these next Supreme Court nominations. It'll be a disaster.
Well, look, I think there's something very nice and wonderful about the moral convictions of the party, and you have to stick to your convictions. But let me just say something that I've been thinking recently, and I just had a conversation about it on Fox and Friends in the previous hour, and that is, do you think all the Democrats like each other? I mean, come on. Of course not. I mean,
no.
the Obamas and the Clintons cannot stand each other. We know that. There are plenty of people that have been stumping for Hillary Clinton over the last 3 months that are doing it, holding their nose and kicking and screaming. They really don't want to because they don't like her. But they don't show their cards. They get in line. And yet the Republicans, they play it out on Fox News and CNN. Is that smart?
Well, the media likes to do that too, Maria. The media likes to showcase the dysfunction and the argument inside the Republican Party.
Because it's there.
But you're right.
But the dysfunction's there.
Well, but look, But it is. But also, I mean, the kind of support that Bernie Sanders has had from the left, and the passion from the left, and what's going to happen at the Democrat convention, I think it's going to be explosive. The media doesn't want to cover that story. But you know, listen, back to your original point, we don't have a choice. We have two candidates, Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump. You can't manufacture a different presumptive nominee for your party. You have two choices. You got to, if you're a true conservative and you're principled, you still have to pick the lesser of two evils. And if you're conservative, that is Donald Trump. Get on board, help save your country, save your party. It's going to be imperative that we get a partial conservative, at least in the White House, as opposed to a radical liberal like Hillary.
So what can be done to help Donald Trump? What do you want to hear at this meeting on Thursday? What do you want to hear from Donald Trump in terms of how he will evolve? And what can Donald Trump teach Paul Ryan and Paul Ryan teach Donald Trump on Thursday?
So we in the House, under Paul Ryan's leadership, have been working on aggressive legislation that we think will fix our economy, make us stronger overseas. We have to have a conversation about what part of those ideas does Donald Trump agree with? What doesn't he agree with us on? And let's start to have a conversation and come to some agreement on where we want to take the country. But these are ideas that we've been working on for a long time. We don't want to give them up and let Donald Trump take us in a different direction. Even this morning, you know, he's talking about changing his tax policy and raising taxes. He's talking about wages and changing his position on wages. We want to, I think, button him down and say, where are we going to go, Mr. Trump, if you're the president? How can we work together? Let's make sure we have a complete and a full understanding of where the two of us are going to go. And I think that'll go a long way to making people feel a lot more comfortable. And with Paul Ryan, you know, we've a lot of talk about him withholding his endorsement. I think in the end, Paul will be on board with Donald Trump, but maybe he's taken a page out of The Art of the Deal and holding back and using that as a little bit of a negotiation tactic when they meet later on this week to talk about how he gets Donald Trump onto this conservative House agenda.
What did you think of Sarah Palin's comment this morning that as a result of what Paul Ryan said, he's going to be Eric Cantored?
Well, listen, I love Sarah Palin. She endorsed me in my race for Congress. I have the utmost respect for her. But Paul Ryan is a big thinker. He's a conservative thinker. And that any conservative, whether it's Sarah Palin or Michelle Malkin, who I like as well, thinks that the House would be better off without a guy like Paul Ryan. I think it's a foolish statement. They should have conversations with Paul. They should let their opinions be known. And but to say that you're going to, you know, go for Paul Ryan's primary opponent, I think doesn't make any sense. The country is better and the party's better with Paul Ryan winning his race, and he will, and continuing on in the speakership.
Congressman, before you go, I know you've been working on Puerto Rico a lot and have been knee-deep in terms of what to do next for this struggling situation. What is the next catalyst in terms of Puerto Rico, and what should we expect?
So you're going to see our bill come out this coming week. I think we're going to be able to get some bipartisan buy-in, but we're going to do two things, Maria. We're going to have a control board that is going to take some fiscal measures and budgeting measures on the island. It'll be 4 Republicans, 3 Democrats. And then we're going to set up a forum for which the bondholders and the island can negotiate a restructuring of the debt. If they can't negotiate, they have a pathway into court where the courts can help them resolve this. But this is big liberal government spending. This is what's on the horizon for America if we don't get our act together. You see it decimate economies and throw more people into poverty and hardship. So I think that we can get this through committee and by the end of the month, hopefully onto the House floor and passed, and we can get Puerto Rico on this pathway to prosperity, restructuring their debt, and getting more investment on the island.
Congressman, we'll be watching. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Maria.
We'll see you soon. Congressman Sean Duffy there.